All new tonight, in an unprecedented move, the state of Minnesota is shutting down the Housing Stabilization Services program, which is now tied to millions in suspected fraud.
And tonight, providers in that program are telling us there were warning signs. And their big concern is people could be put out on the street.
The program exploded in size in recent years. But investigators say Medicaid money meant to help vulnerable people find permanent housing is being stolen. The move today by the Department of Human Services to shut down and redesign the program comes 2 weeks after federal authorities searched offices and homes around the metro.
Callan Gray spent hours today reaching out to providers, and she begins our team coverage tonight.
I called more than 50 providers today to find out what this will mean for them and the people they work with. From the conversations I had, it's clear this took people by surprise, and there are still a lot of questions about what happens next. The state's Housing Stabilization Services program was created to help people with disabilities and housing instability. The sudden news of a shutdown,
I was honestly shocked,
causing concern among providers.
Definitely devastation.
Hannah Albright with Believe Again Home Care says they've housed 83 people through the program.
Housing stabilization is a crucial thing for folks in need.
In its announcement, DHS says it's taken action to suspend payments to a total of 77 providers based on, quote, credible allegations of fraud. We asked how many of the total number of providers this accounts for and how much money they'd received by the time payments stopped. We did not hear back. The Department of Human Services website shows more than 1,800 providers statewide.
Hi, this is Callan Gray. I'm a reporter with Channel 5.
We started at the top of the list, breaking the news to some we talked to. Some told us they didn't have any clients, and others tonight worried what this will mean for people who rely on the program.
They had so much hope that they're going to move, they're going to find a shelter, they're going to have their own place. They're excited about that change that's coming to their lives, and now they're going to get a news that, hey, I'm not going to be able to work with you anymore. It's going to be very shocking to them.
Are there people that are going to be unhoused because of this?
Yes, there's a lot of people who are going to be unhoused.
Coordinator Fardosa Ibrahim says, though, there wasn't enough oversight.
The way HHS was just thrown into the community and expected for everybody to follow the law, it wasn't something something was going to happen like this. The fraud was going to happen like sooner or later.
But Albright says shutting the program down isn't the answer.
Let's track this better. Let's figure this out so these folks do not have to suffer and they don't have to be without this service when they really need it, because it's not fair to them that certain people have decided to commit fraud.
We asked DHS what date it expects the program to be shut down by and whether the providers following the law will continue to get funding for a while. We did not get those answers tonight. DHS also did not respond to our question about the timeline for a redesign and relaunch. Kevin, Lindsay.
All right, thanks for reaching out to everyone, Callan.
Ben Henry continues team coverage. He's been talking with lawmakers who call the action today a big step. Ben?
Well, while lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are praising this, they also understand this is going to be tough for those providers doing legitimate work and the people using their services. But given the fraud facing the state, House Speaker Lisa Demuth calls it a great step that's overdue.
What do you think went wrong?
I think the lack of oversight and not taking things seriously for years under the same administration has allowed fraud to continue in Minnesota. We will know that we have finally done a good job when it comes to preventing fraud is when it is prevented and not just caught after the fact.
Speaker Demuth says a big part of that work will be done in the newly formed Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee. We asked that same question to the lead Democrat in that committee, Rep. Dave Pinto.
What do you think went wrong here?
Seems like when the program was designed in the first place, really by the legislature, by that bipartisan legislature, there needed to be some more controls in place. And in fact, I think we've seen the administration asking for that over time.
How about a message for Minnesotans who are possibly losing faith in their government?
We stood up for the first time ever, the Fraud Prevention and Agency Oversight Committee with full Republican control and the ability to take steps and make things better for Minnesotans. I would say to Minnesotans, don't lose faith.
What can we learn from this to improve in the future? What can we do to hold accountable the people who've defrauded us now? And what we can do to make sure to continue to meet the needs of the people that the program was intended to meet in the first place.
Governor Walz supports this as well. He shared tonight this is needed to make sure fraudulent actors do not receive another penny, adding, until the legislature can redesign this program, it is simply too susceptible to fraud to continue. This effort is one of many that the administration is making to tighten controls, catch and penalize criminal activity, and ensure state services go to only those who truly need them. Kevin and Lindsay.
All right, Ben. Now, the suspected fraud in the housing services program is just part of what the acting U.S. Attorney for Minnesota calls an extraordinary and pervasive problem in Minnesota. In a one-on-one interview last week, he told Jay Coles, First on 5, the scope of fraudulent use of taxpayer money could exceed $1 billion.
What, in your opinion, will it take to stop it and get a handle on it?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's the question, right? I think the growing awareness of the problem, I think people opening their eyes to the reality of it, and we can't always assume that things are on the up and up, and we have to make sure we're scrutinizing things that look suspicious.
Thompson welcomes today's news, saying in a statement, ending the Housing Stabilization Services program cuts off a major source of abuse. But this is just the beginning. The fight against fraud continues, and a broader reckoning is long overdue, end quote.